Yo, what's up? My name's Retro Pat, and welcome back to another very spooky Dungeon Defenders episode. Now, I've been playing a fair amount of Halloween maps and exploring the Halloween-themed tavern to celebrate the holidays, and I hope you guys are having a fun time and playing some themed games as well. I think it's just a nice way to spice up your games and kind of break away from the monotony of grinding certain things during the holidays. Hopefully you're doing that. What's up? Let's go ahead and jump into today's challenge, Jester's Spooktacular. Recently, I did it on easy difficulty, just to see how the map was, really explore the beauty, see the graphics, see the chess pieces, all the pumpkins, all the different mobs, etc., etc. Today, I'm going to be trying it on hard difficulty. I think that's about the peak that I'll be able to beat it at, especially with those, like, giant mechanical boss type memers that kind of remind me of the ones on the Hall of Court. They kind of remind me of the boss of that map, so we're going to jump into it. It's only 5 waves or so of actual combat. It's actually not that many waves. The problem is I do spend a fair amount of time just on build phase, really making sure I get everything correct, as well as, you know, going through between the layers. There's like 3 or 4 or so layers on this map, and it can be a lot to traverse, especially efficiently. It kind of takes a while to actually learn the map and get used to everything. It also just, it's so easy to get lost in a map built around confusing you and having all these different moving pieces all around. You really get lost in the visuals. But if you're watching this, happy Halloween. It probably is Halloween by the time this video releases, so hopefully you're giving out some candy tonight to some cool kids, and hopefully you're also eating some of your own candy, maybe chowing down on some Milky Ways. We're going to start things off here by placing an aura stack at each of our crystals. Nothing super special. You guys have seen it a million times, so we're going to go and get that done with, and I'll see you in a quick sec. I really just can't overstress how aura stacks really change the game. I think if I had to pinpoint to one massive change that made so many things more possible that weren't possible previously in my Dungeon Defender strategies, it's simply using Monk aura stacks. If you're trying to progress, if you're trying to learn the game, Monk aura stacks are the quickest thing to go ahead and start doing and start enabling you to do way more maps that you didn't think were possible. I did just realize these auras are overlapping a bit, which is kind of a problem. I might need to make, because I can't place this anywhere pretty much. I might need to make the aura down below just smaller. That might be the only way, because placing this one all the way back here, I do really, maybe it's fine, but I do feel like it really inhibits the protection over here. We might try this, but this might have to get moved. We'll have to see. That is a weird location to have to worry about it. Yeah, I think it's overlapping with the aura stack down below, if I were to guess. That would be my, well, sure. That would be my main prediction if you asked me. And yeah, it seems like it. They come through the floor pretty aggressively. So you can see this is the top side one coming through the floor, looping under, and it was going to overlap with this one too much, so it had to move over to the side. So that was the main problem. So it's something you have to consider when placing these aura stacks. They do go through walls and through floors to overlap. But that's not terrible, so we'll go ahead and have that placed here. We'll back up, drop our mana, and then switch over to probably our mage next. And the mage gets to spam these beautiful things called lightning towers, pretty much as many of them as possible. Sometimes some deadly strike towers on top of it, which honestly I might do one if I could get it lined up a little bit better to save space. That's ideal. Sure, that's good enough. I should be able to place at least one more here. Yeah, if I could squeeze in 2, I don't think I'm ever squeezing in 2, so I'm just not even going to try, I'm going to be honest, but you want to put a Series EV booster beam here, so you want to save as much space as possible to hopefully make that booster beam only cost 4 defense units. This is looking pretty solid so far. We'll essentially do the same thing down here on the second layer. You guys can watch me quickly fail this jump, or, okay, maybe it is a good day, my mistake. I'm only at 68 out of 125 defense units. I think I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger on those deadly strike towers. I feel like they do offer so much support that it honestly really is worth it. I also like crossing them like this, so I'm going to have this one on the opposite side facing that opposite direction, and then have this one over here facing this direction. I feel like it covers more ground. It gets more of an AoE. It won't have as much range, but it'll have more of a, since it's a cone effect, it will end up actually getting more, hitting more mobs on the way, versus if I just place this one here and then point it this direction, it would be a tighter cone. It would miss a lot of mobs when they were closer to the crystal. And I'll of course do the same thing down here with the deadly strike tower summons. 100 out of 125 defense units have been used. I'm going to hop back up here, get on my Series EV, go ahead and drop those booster beams, which will be absolutely massive on these locations. The fact that you're given this much mana, I think the big thing about this map is the fact that you're given so much mana on wave 1. It really does allow you to get like a full setup extremely early on, which is really beneficial. I want to try to, I don't know if I can make this ever cost 4. Oh, is that gonna just, ooh, that actually does. Okay, so we can just barely have that tick this. See the red glow around it? So that can actually make that cost 4 defense units, just barely. Really maximizing having 1 extra defense unit there. But that 1 extra defense unit honestly might matter. I really do want to work on trying to build. Now here I'm going to do a lot, to be fair. This is going to be, I don't think this is ever being 4. This has to be the full 5. We'll just do it like this. That should hit, yep, every one of them. These guys, yep, perfect, perfect, perfect. And now we're at 109 out of 125. We do have extra units, which is really nice, but I want to focus on my walls now. So we're going to head over to my summoner, build up these archers, and these are essentially going to act as just physical barriers to delay the enemies from getting to my towers, getting to my crystal, etc., etc. They're going to be spaced out a little bit here at first because I don't have that much mana. Even this might be too... Even this, I might be building too many archers up here. We'll have to see. Yeah, I'm going to stop there. I have to jump down here and build as many as possible. It's going to be a little tight. Build one there, I guess. This should be a little further out, maybe. Let's do a little further out here. These guys are going to have a tough job this round because I just don't have that many of them. I guess this side will have 2 each. That's honestly enough. It's not ideal. It's not great, but 2 each here is enough. Okay, I'm really happy with this build setup. Really happy with it. We're going to switch over to my Barbarian. Try to get as much mana as possible during this first wave. It's only 5 waves of combat. You got to keep that in mind. Like, it's really not that many waves. So, if we can get through this first wave, I feel like this first wave will be the hardest. Let's jump into it, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Halloween. Let's celebrate. Let's play some Dungeon Defenders. Let's see what we can do down here. I do want to mostly watch down in this section, honestly. I want to go get some mana as soon as possible by defeating some mobs, so I can go ahead and activate my lightning stance and get some nice chain damage. But of course, this first guy is going to have a lightning immunity, so we're going to have to deactivate it there pretty quickly. Anything coming in over here? An ogre came in, but he was able to get defeated pretty easily. I'm gonna be honest, didn't expect that so soon. I think the deadly strike towers really help against things like the ogres in these early waves. I'm gonna pop my lightning strike there. Boom, that guy was killed super quickly, but upstairs is under some trouble. I've got to pop my tornado stance. Oh no, what is happening up here? Not good stuff. That's what's happening. Oh no, 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 no. We're gonna pop our lightning stance. It's this guy. Yep, it's the mechanical. I knew it. It's always these mechanical guys. They cause so much problems. Oh, that's really, really bad. As long as we get the wave completed, that's all that matters. I should have been watching better. I should have been watching more. That is a mistake on my end. We're going to deactivate my stances. Oh, man, that was a massive skill gap. Massive error on my end. That's really unfortunate, but that's okay. We can rebuild as long as we beat this first wave. Like, we lose some mana. You do lose some mana, obviously, resources from them getting through and defeating things, but that's honestly not the worst thing at all that could happen. I might just want to jump down below because I'm not really seeing much up here, so I'm guessing that it's more stuff down here, and if I can keep these things up, I really, really want to. We're going to go ahead and get this all taken care of, all leveled up a little bit. The Snot Goblin is coming. Yep, there he is, doing some damage where possible. We're going to get upgrades on all the auras. Okay, we got through it, but we lost all of our DPS towers on that top side. Like, that top side lost everything in the process. I'm going to have to heal a lot of stuff. We got a lot of work to do here, fellas, to repair. We're going to drop our mana. We're going to head over to our mage. We're at wave 12 out of 16 here. I'm just going to rebuild off camera. You guys have already seen the setup. I'll show you guys when I'm done. I think I will be looking to do more strategies like this. I always thought that you had to run the Series EV booster like through the towers, but you can actually have them be adjacent and have 2 different lines of towers like this. I really didn't know this. That's really, really that's amazing. All right, I went ahead and fortified more of my archers as well as built some mages. I actually built 2 mages at each crystal, 1 for each wall of archers, which I think is more than enough. But I also really, really, really do want to build essentially these snot reflection beams. That's basically all they are. Not all they are, but I think they're so helpful. I think keeping them cost 1 defense unit is fine. Maybe I should just commit and have them be like a massive thing. They legit do get kind of expensive. If I were to do one like the longest, I guess they're 3 defense units. That's like the expensive. Oh my goodness, so much. Maybe that's worth it. I don't really know if I'm spending much else on other defense units. Ooh, maybe I think that might be. Well, you know what I could do? I always make this mistake. I always try to make it to here. Let's build inward to outward, right? So the real protection would just be to build one like this that costs 1, and then build one like this that costs 1. There you go. That's the strat for sure, for sure, for sure. And that's pretty much like guaranteed protection. I can't imagine many snot shots are going to come directly through this little center area. If they do, more power to them. The ogres are just fucking Michael Jordan, I guess, and just have an absolute fucking dinger ringer of a shot. We'll let them take that one, okay? So, but we're going to go ahead and do that down at the bottom section as well. I really do feel like protecting from projectiles. Why am I like this? Why do I keep doing this? Anyways, after nothing happening, I do feel like protecting of projectiles is like super, super important on this map. So let's go ahead and go get that set up at this lower section as well. Just like this. Once again, diagonal protection, like from here to here. It's going to cost 1 defensive unit. The only difficult thing is, ooh, can I actually build this? Ooh, does this get complicated? Can I build this? Ooh, I think I might be able to. I might be able to still. Okay. I don't know if that lightning strike tower will get hit. It might. If it does, that's okay. We could just move it, I guess. We'll just, I don't know. We'll move it or so. We'll figure something out. But now that I have all these leftover defense units, let's get to a little bit of experimentation. I want to go ahead and work with my hermit and see what I can do. I think a lot of people want to see me do more with my hermit, which is fair. He's a very, very cool character. I kind of want to place a web wall here. That costs so much if you make it extended at all. Like I'd have to keep it that small. Oh man. The problem is there's mobs coming from all over. Obviously a lot of them come from here. Web wall, I don't know if web wall is really the best use of my defense units in a map like this. I do want to try my forest golem a bit. I have been using that already a bit. I don't know, nature pylon really increases ranges of all my defenses, increases speed and casting range. Is this good? I feel like things that buff other things are usually good. Speed and casting rate of nearby heroes. Okay. So the only thing this really does is it increases range and resistance of nearby defenses. It doesn't increase damage. I guess that's the big thing to keep in mind, which is definitely not as amazing as you would like. I'm going to go ahead and place one of the golems here. I don't even know exactly. I think the golem heals. It heals colossal health and colossal power. The guardian will passively heal nearby allies. Should I have him more in the front? Is it a waste to put him in the back like this? Is that the skill gap that I seem to be having? We're going to have him there for the time being. He might get moved. We're going to head up here. We've got 5 defense units left over. I'm going to go ahead and build some web walls, honestly, I think. Maybe some. I think a lot of mobs do actually come from this spot particularly, so we're going to build a 2-cost. We could just build a 4-cost one if I want to be totally web walled up like that, but I think we're going to do 2 and have it be right about there. It's about in the center. Most mobs should get nicked by that and get webbed. I think that should be pretty good. Everything else here is looking good. Should I do a web wall over here as well? Since I don't have a guardian up here, I guess sure. We can even make this one a 3-cost one since that's the last amount of defense units we have. Let's move it over just a little bit. Let's have it be like right here. And then boom. That should be a pretty good web wall. Pretty happy with that. Should catch most mobs. All right. Pretty like enjoying this defense setup. Now it's just time to switch over to the barbarian, I believe, and pump upgrades. Now it is pump and dump time. Do as much damage as possible and then dump it all over into upgrades. Switch over to the barb, which is now level 85. It's kind of crazy how much my barb has progressed, and I haven't really noticed or paid attention too much. He's been gaining a fair bit of XP there, kind of passively. I want to upgrade these aura stacks. I feel like the aura stacks do so much. I mean, I'm a big fan of aura stacks. They're just so powerful. I'll go grab whatever mana I can, and I'll see you guys in wave 12 out of 16 of combat. I love the green aura that the big golem represents. That is very cool. We're going to give him an upgrade just for that visual. Alrighty, wave 12 out of 16 time. Let's go ahead and jump into it. This is actual combat here. Let's see how it goes. We have the web wall here. I do want to keep an eye on this and see how many minions actually get webbed in the process, how effective it is. But the deadly strike towers are just sniping things, headshots from across the map. How does it have this range? I'm going to be honest. I didn't expect to see the deadly strike towers have such a range. I'm going to hop on this guy. These guys, once again, are just massive problems. Even the lightning towers reach it. That's what just really baffles me, and it continues. Like, I really like, I love the, you know, the Squire's towers. I love his harpoons, the damage, the animation. Super cool, super nostalgic to me, etc., right? How does he compete when the mage can do more damage and it's at their spawn? It's just, it's the range on these towers just baffles me. The lightning towers just reach all over the place. The deadly strikes even have like way more range than what visually it seems like shows, or you like can't see it because it's like off the map. It's hard to tell for sure. Dude, it is wild to me. Let's head up to the top. Were we all on the top floor? I guess we could have just jumped down to the bottom floor. My mistake. I assumed, I don't know why I thought that I was on the lower floor, but yeah, the lower floor has the oh, now we jumped out to the bottom floor, so we got to make our way back up. That's okay. We'll tornado stance to get some extra speed. I want to check this bottom level floor to see how the golem is doing. The golem is healing everybody pretty well. Honestly, putting in some good support. I would like to see him get attacks in, but I don't know if he can in this position. That'll be something that I possibly work on. We'll go get upgrades over on stuff over here. We'll put it into the tower buff beam. You do want to kind of... Technically, I think you're supposed to upgrade the tower buff beam to like 3-star before anything else. I think that is the efficient way to do it, hilariously. But now I'll put some upgrades into stuff like that. Only 1 minion left, 1 ogre left, I think. This is honestly a really, really easy wave. I thought that hard difficulty would be the perfect one, honestly. But we might have to up this again. We did on easy. Oh, you know, easy was way too easy. But still, like, you know, there were some challenges. The first wave was tough. Do we lose a wave? I might even lost when I first tried. I don't remember. Now I'm wondering if this map is possible on Nightmare for me, which just seems insane because once again, like, I think the Nightmare recommendation is level 100, and my character's like level 85. Like my highest level character is my monk, level 94. But I guess I don't think of my strategy as being that good in Dungeon Defenders, but if I have enough strategy to where I could push through those like recommended levels, that would be amazing. Obviously I have some tidbits of what high level players use thanks to you guys in the comments, but I know that I don't do the most optimal things. I understand that there are things like tower stackings that I kind of not refuse to use, but I don't know, I don't really want to. I like the idea of playing the game not as intended, as I don't really care about that too much, but I'm gonna fall again, aren't I? Okay, I see. I almost more enjoy playing the game in a nostalgic way. That's like the best way. I do want to make it's a mixture, right? I think every game, your peak enjoyment of every game is a mixture of fun and efficiency. If you focus too much on quote unquote fun, I think you actually end up not having very much fun. you may have, you know, experienced this yourself in certain games where like your friends get super ahead of you, or you kind of just get stuck on a map and can never complete it. People don't really talk about that part of gaming because we're so far from that nowadays. Like it was cool. It was cool and cute to get stuck on certain levels on like PS1 games growing up and never be able to beat those games, but then you had those games that you could never be able to beat. So like there were positives and negatives. Yes, it is. We look back on those with like rose tinted goggles, but as kids it was a little frustrating, you know, having a game in your collection that you just effectively can't play or progress on at all. So I don't know, I think people don't really talk about that downside as much, but my point is I like to make a very important effort, like critical effort of making progress in Dungeon Defenders while also having fun, still playing nostalgically, and still kind of sacrificing certain efficiency things for the sake of my own enjoyment. Enough building and strategy and yapping. Let's jump into some more combat. Wave 13 out of 16 here. Feeling pretty good about our strategy. I do want to keep an eye on a few things, though, and not get too cocky, especially things like these ogres coming in with 3 million HP. They can just last for a while. Sometimes they sneak in and get some shots in against some certain towers, and the mage towers definitely don't have much HP. That is the main downside of them. They have the damage, they have the range, but how am I able to one-shot some of these guys? I'm kind of shocked by that. Like, I know my barbarian's very fun, but I wouldn't exactly call him the strongest hero in the game for sure. A lot of people, I think, constantly remind me of my comments, which is like, you know, it's good to hear the opposite sides and hear like what else you should do. And I like that people can give me the efficiency information. That I think it's a good backseat. People giving me the efficiency information, and that I can pick and choose which efficiency information I want to use. That's just good because I don't know this game that well, you know. If someone were to backseat me in something that I knew a bit better, that I was purposely choosing to not be efficient on, that'd be a little more annoying. But in all honesty, I have 320 hours or so in Dungeon Defenders, and it just feels like nothing. Like it just feels like I feel like I understand about 10, maybe 20% of this game. Like, there is so much to do, so much to learn, so many map strategies, so many characters, so many different ways to play those maps on survival, on hardcore, on mixed mode, on nightmare. Like, there's so many on ruthless now. I can't even. It's this game is hard to fathom, which is awesome. I love games like that, but it's definitely hard to play multiple games like that. I play another, for many of you may know, but I play another game on my main channel called my main channel is Petrowski, where I do Pokemon content. It's a Pokemon MMO. Great game. I really, really recommend it. Honestly, very similar. I wouldn't say gameplay is not similar at all to Dungeon Defenders, and it's Pokemon. Not really tower defense like at all. But in terms of like the grinds, in terms of the goal setting, in terms of the infinite playability, it is very similar. Where I always say Pokemon is a infinitely playable game, but you have to be willing to set your own goals, and that's so how I feel with Dungeon Defenders. It's like the exact same. Where this game has so much deep content. And I feel like a lot of players that are still here know that, which is amazing. We currently have a massive problem in the Pokemon community where a lot of they're not wrong. It's a totally fair feeling. We have a lot of new players who play essentially the Pokemon storylines and then kind of get bored and quit, which is fine. That's also fine. The problem is we have a lot of players complaining, saying there's no content, when in reality there is I think there's objectively so much content in the game. The problem is there's not really any direction towards that content. So we have a lot of new players that there's a ton of content in the game, but they don't really have an easy job of seeing that content or understanding how to pursue that content, which is where my guides and my videos come into play. So hopefully I want to just transfer and convert as many newer players or more casual players into hardcore veteran players as possible. I assume that's what Dungeon Defenders wants as well. I don't know how many new players. I don't mean to sound disrespectful. I don't know how many new players Dungeon Defenders gets. I would guess it's not that many. I could be mistaken. And once again, I do not mean to be disrespectful. Maybe I'm just ignorant here, so I apologize. But I would be shocked. It'd be really, really impressive if a game like this was getting a tons of new players. Pokemon, I think, uniquely gets a ton of new players for a game that is 12 years old at this point, because it has the Pokemon name attached to it. So that alone draws in a lot of attention. So I think a lot of Pokemon fans are looking for different fan-made projects. They find Pokemon, and they kind of, that's something, a lot of, I think we constantly cycle in new players, but we have a difficult time. We have a difficult time in Pokemon Sphere keeping those players. That is our biggest problem. And I feel like Dungeon Defenders is almost the opposite, where like you guys get like almost no new players, but your hardcore players are here, and they are dedicated, and they are, which is amazing. I think that's, and Pokemon has that for sure. But we have that problem retaining new players. We do get new players, we just have a difficult time retaining them. And part of it's because the game's not going to be for everybody, and that's always going to be okay. Like I don't want people to play a game they don't enjoy. But part of it is the lack of direction of content and the lack of players understanding how to get to those goals. I compare it a lot to Minecraft as well. I think Minecraft, Dungeon Defenders, and Pokemon are very similar in this way that I'm about to explain, in terms of there's infinite content. Like look up, like Minecraft is a game with infinite content. I can't imagine someone being like, oh, I'm so bored of Minecraft, there's nothing to do. That sentence is very, very funny to me. I understand. I think to rephrase that sentence charitably, a better sentence would probably be like, I'm so bored of Minecraft, I can't really think of anything to do. Or I'm out of ideas. I think something like that is better, because I think the game does have infinite content. You could play on the same map and same world forever, right? But a lot of people, they only play until the Ender Dragon, they get their accomplishment, they quit and they move on, which, once again, nothing wrong with that at all. It really comes down to what are your goals. A lot of people, that's just like the way to be, right? I think a lot of times, and this is a totally off-topic Dungeon Defenders ramble, so apologies in advance. I probably should have qualified or warned you guys, but I like talking about general video game philosophy and game design, and like how to fix and like problems and how to fix it, etc., etc. But yeah, a massive problem I feel like a game like Minecraft encounters is people projecting their feelings as a fault of the game, as opposed to just a feeling. And that's total. There's nothing wrong with feelings. There's nothing wrong with feeling anything. There's nothing wrong with feeling bored of something. There's not like a. It may not be the game's fault. It may be the game's fault. There are times where it is the game's fault, where there's a lack of content, where there's a lack of interest and a lack of new content. There still is some validity there, but I think more often than not, when we get bored of a game, it's arguably our fault and not the game's. But it's much easier to project that and say it's the game's fault. This is why we see so many people, you've probably seen this all over the place, X game is dying, right? How many times have you seen someone say, oh, League of Legends is dying, Overwatch is dying? And there's arguments like Overwatch is obviously like on a decline, but is it dying? Is it dead? Overwatch is dead. Is it really dead? No, it's not dead. It's doing pretty well compared to other games, right? Compared to most games on average. Has it been through a decline, and as an Overwatch fan, I'm very disappointed in the game. I don't play it right now, so but I would still never call it dead. I would say, you know what, I don't really enjoy the direction it's gone. I kind of miss certain aspects. It's a big bummer to me, and I think they've made a lot of bad decisions. We're gonna jump into wave 14 and 16 here, but I wouldn't call it dead. I think a lot of gamers project their emotions into reality as opposed to just acknowledging it as what it is, which is an emotion, and just saying, this is how I feel. There may not be a reason, and that's okay. I think a lot of people, it's easier to scapegoat it onto, oh, it's the game's fault, oh, it's the dev's fault. This is why we see so much hate towards developers, which are the people who make us the beautiful games that we love so much. So just, I don't know, a quick daily reminder, long 20-minute ramble PSA to be nice to devs. If devs aren't doing a great job, which is always the case, not everybody's, even if a job is fantastic, not everybody does a great job at it, in that job, right? Even if it's a tough job and adds a lot to the world, that doesn't mean everybody does a great job. But just be nice, just present it nicely. That's all I say. Is if you want, critique is amazing. Critique is so good, but you almost never see good critique especially on the internet, right? Good critique is not saying LMAO devs are lazy, LMAO devs suck. It would be saying something like, hey, I'm feeling really, I'm personally feeling a little bored. I personally am a little disappointed in the lack of content over the past few years. I would love if the developers would communicate on what they're working on. These are examples of good critiques, and there's so many ways to do it, but these require effort, and these require actually wanting positive change, which is difficult to find on the internet sometimes, which is why it's funny that I'm rambling about it for so long. Let's go ahead and just finish this map. Here's this wave complete. We're jumping into wave 15 here in a quick sec. Going pretty smoothly, so I'm just going to pump whatever upgrades I can, grab whatever mana I can, and jump into this next wave pretty quickly here. I might not even pop these chests. I'm on hard mode. I just realized I think I'm just on the way too easy of a mode. And I didn't really process it. I'm on hard difficulty, and look at the gear drops on the left. Godly, that's it. There's not even mythicals being dropped. I thought this would be hard because I guess the wave 1 of that easy attempt, my core took a lot of damage, and I literally almost lost wave 1. Maybe I should have just ran through this on Nightmare. There's also no boss on this map like I was expecting, or maybe there is a boss if you play a high enough difficulty. That's something I'll look forward to. You know what? I'm gonna run through this again. We'll do a different episode. We'll do an episode post-Halloween, even on a Halloween map, so apologies. We'll get to the Thanksgiving maps here very, very soon. Don't you worry, but I do want to try this map one more time on Nightmare difficulty. I think it might be possible. I think it might be just barely be possible for me. It's going to be tough, I think. A lot tougher than this, but we'll see. All right, there's wave 15 complete. I'm just going to immediately jump into wave 16, and I will see you guys at the end screen. Final wave. Here it is, victory, the final wave complete, getting tons of pets, Dragon Halberd, the Godly Devil Mask. That's honestly kind of cool. I'll have to check out some of those rewards. I feel like I've been neglecting the rewards deposited into my tavern box a ton recently. Around 3 million, 2.7, sorry, 2.7 million XP gained on this map. Not too shabby, but I don't think this is enough. I don't think this is it. I had a nice ramble, which I enjoyed. Hopefully you guys enjoyed as well, but this is not it for this map. We're going to do one more time. We have to do a Nightmare run, so I will see you guys in the next episode. Like this one if you enjoyed it. Dislike if you did not. That's totally okay. I want your genuine feedback. Subscribe to the channel for Dungeon Defenders content every other day, and I will see you guys later. Peace, Reno. Yo, thank you so much for watching until the very end of the video, and a huge shout out to everybody listed here who goes above and beyond, supports the Patreon, and allows me to focus more on Dungeon Defenders content. Thanks again. Have a great day.